only human. Please don't kill me. I will do whatever you said.
The battlefield was silent now. Ashes drifted through the cold air, glowing like dying stars. The once golden fields of Althera Prime were burned black, dotted with the wrecks of ships from two worlds that had no reason to hate each other, yet had found themselves at war. Private Elias Ward, human soldier of the Terran Expeditionary Corps, limped through the wreckage, rifle in hand, heart heavy. He wasn't searching for enemies anymore, just survivors. The war had ended 3 hours ago when both commands finally surrendered after a decade of pointless destruction. But Elias wasn't celebrating. His platoon was gone. His friends gone. He kicked aside a burned-out exosuit, the faint smell of alien metal and blood mixing with smoke. And then he heard it, a weak, trembling voice behind a cracked cargo pod. "Please don't kill me." Elias froze. The voice was soft, melodic, and yet broken, distinctly female and not human. He raised his rifle slowly, stepping closer. Behind the wreckage, half buried in ash and twisted steel, lay a Velan warrior, one of the reptilian-descended alien race that humanity had warred with for so long. Her armor was shattered, her tail pinned beneath debris, her breathing ragged. Her scales were pale silver blue, once shining, now smeared with soot and blood. Her golden eyes met his. And despite everything, fear, pain, exhaustion, she whispered again, "Human, please. Don't kill me. I can warm your bed." Elias's finger froze on the trigger. He had heard stories. Desperate Velans offering servitude to survive, using human phrases they barely understood. But her words weren't seductive. They were pleading. She thought he'd kill her. He lowered the rifle. "I'm not going to kill you," he said quietly. Her eyes widened. She blinked, uncertain. "You're not." "No," he said. "War's over. You're hurt. Let me help you." Her breath shuddered, and for the first time, he saw something beyond fear in her eyes. Disbelief. Chapter 1: The Shelter. Elias cleared the debris, lifting the heavy beam pinning her tail. She gasped but didn't cry out. When he finally freed her, he realized how small she was compared to the armored monsters he'd fought. Without her armor, she looked almost delicate, lithe, with smooth scales that shimmered faintly in the light. He bandaged her wound with strips from his uniform and helped her hobble to an abandoned outpost. Inside he found an old heating unit still working. She sank down by it, shivering despite her alien physiology. He handed her his canteen. "Drink." Slowly. She stared at it, then at him, suspicious. "You're not afraid I'll kill you in your sleep?" Elias chuckled softly. "You can barely stand." That earned him a faint, tired smile, the first spark of warmth between enemies. Chapter 2: 2 enemies, 1 fire. They stayed in that outpost for days. Elias patched her wounds and shared his rations. She told him her name was Caravel, daughter of a Velan general. Her squad had died defending a supply route, the same one Elias's platoon had attacked. When she learned that, silence fell between them. Neither spoke for hours. Finally, Kaara whispered, "So you were the one who destroyed them?" Elias's jaw tightened. "And you were the one who killed mine." The truth hung in the cold air. Both were broken pieces of the same war. That night, as the wind howled outside, Kaara curled closer to the heater. Elias noticed her trembling, not from fear, but from the dropping temperature. He tossed her his thermal blanket. "Here." She blinked. "Humans need warmth too." "I'll manage." Her tail flicked. "You are foolish." He smiled faintly. "Maybe." But when he woke later, he found her curled beside him, blanket wrapped around both of them. Her body radiated heat, far warmer than any human's. When she noticed him awake, she looked away quickly. Velans share warmth to survive cold nights. Nothing improper. I didn't say it was. But inside, something in Elias's chest softened. Chapter 3 Words and Wounds. Days turned to weeks. The ceasefire became a fragile peace. No rescue came, not yet. The world around them was still too dangerous, storms cutting off contact. So they talked. Kaara spoke of the Velan way. Honor, strength, duty. She told him how she'd been raised to see humans as weak, greedy creatures who destroyed what they touched. Elias told her of earth, of rain, of cities full of light, of music. You have songs? She asked one night, curiosity glowing in her golden eyes. Plenty. Want to hear one? She nodded. So he hummed a slow tune his mother used to sing, old and human, soft as moonlight. When he finished, Kaara was quiet. Then softly, "That was beautiful." Her voice trembled as if something inside her had cracked. He looked at her and saw tears glimmering between her scales. "I didn't think your kind could feel like we do," she whispered. "Neither did I," he said. Chapter 4 The Promise. A month passed. Her wounds healed. They could have left the outpost, but neither seemed eager to. One evening, Kaara returned from scouting the edge of the ruins, carrying something wrapped in cloth. "For you," she said simply. He opened it. Inside was a crude pendant made from fragments of her broken armor. "Velan warriors make these," she explained. "For those who save their lives. A bond, unbreakable until death." Elias swallowed hard. "I don't deserve this. You spared me," she said. "Fed me. Treated me like more than an enemy. You deserve everything I can give." He looked into her eyes, glowing softly in the firelight, and saw no trace of fear anymore. Only gratitude. He reached out, touching her hand. "Thank you, Kaara." Her claws brushed his skin, gentle despite their strength. "Elias," she said, almost a whisper. "When I begged you not to kill me, I didn't know mercy could feel like this." He smiled sadly. "Neither did I." Chapter 5 The Storm. The next day, a storm hit, one of Althara's acid tempests. The outpost shook. Power flickered out. They huddled together in the dark, rain hissing against the metal roof. Kaara wrapped her tail around him instinctively, her warmth protecting him from the chill. When lightning flashed, Elias saw her face close, eyes half closed, breathing steady. "Elias," she murmured. "Your heart, it's loud." He laughed quietly. "That's what humans do when they're scared." "Are you afraid of me?" He shook his head. "Not anymore." She tilted her head, studying him. "Then what are you afraid of?" "Losing this," he said. "When rescue comes. When we go back to our worlds." Kaara was silent for a long moment. Then she said, "Velans do not fear war. But I fear peace without you." Elias looked up, meeting her gaze. "Kaara." And in that moment, without words, something deep and fragile bloomed. Not lust, not pity, but connection. The kind born from shared pain and hard-won trust. Chapter 6 Rescue. Weeks later they heard it. The distant hum of engines. Human rescue craft. Elias felt relief. And dread. Kaara looked at him. "This is goodbye, isn't it?" "I'll make sure they don't hurt you," he promised. "You're under my protection." When the soldiers landed, they pointed weapons immediately. "Sir." "Velan survivor." Elias stepped between them. "She's not a threat. She saved my life." The commander frowned. "You're defending an alien." "She's not an alien," Elias said firmly. She's Kaara. Kaara's eyes widened, shimmering. The commander hesitated, then nodded. Bring them both aboard. HQ will decide. As they lifted off, Kaara sat beside Elias, watching the burning planet shrink below. Do you think they'll separate us? She asked softly. I'll fight them if they do. You'd fight your own kind. For you. He smiled faintly. Every time. Her tail brushed against his leg, a silent thank you. Prologue, Home and Heart. Months passed. The war officially ended. Velans and humans began tentative diplomacy. Kaara was granted asylum on Earth. Under supervision, of course. Elias offered to sponsor her. She lived in his small apartment near the ocean. The air was too damp for her, the sky too bright, the food too bland, but she never complained. She learned human customs awkwardly, but with quiet curiosity. And some nights, when the air grew cold and the world outside felt too strange, she'd slip into the living room and sit beside him. Do you still need warmth, human? She'd tease softly. He'd smile. Always. Then she'd rest her head on his shoulder, tail wrapping gently around his leg, the same way she had on that battlefield. No grand confessions. No sudden passion. Just peace. The kind they both thought they'd never earn. Sometimes Elias would wake in the night to find her watching the stars through the window. What are you thinking? He'd ask. She'd smile faintly. That I once begged a human not to kill me. And instead, he gave me a life worth living. He'd reach for her hand, warm and sure. And you gave me something worth fighting for. And under the silver light of Earth's moon, two former enemies sat side by side. Proof that even across galaxies, mercy could grow into something far deeper than war could ever destroy.